Small update. I've painted or varnished the sill here for the patio doors that goes into the conservatory. Much needed. This was pretty dry, pretty flaky, so that's now nicely sealed. Should last a long while because it's not an outdoor one, it's just the conservatory, but needed to be done. So all around. Kitchen's been in for a while now, several weeks, so very happy with it. Had all the snags fixed. Door open. So yeah, very nice. Really enjoying it. It's lovely to have it finished. New vent as well, and LED light repositioned. Also installed new floorboards. So there's the old ones coming up. They've all been removed, and you can see the difference between the old and the new floor. So we replaced all those. All the rotten ones are out. Probably about half the shed was just completely rotten. So nice to get all these screwed down. And I'm just in the middle of putting a lip here to stop water coming in from the slabs outside, because partly I think water was coming in here, and of course on the back wall, which has been fixed, water was coming in there, so it was good to put the new wood down. What else has happened in the shed? Not a huge amount, just put a few more things up, just put a few more things away, tidied. So yeah, it's fully working now. Decent shed. This side has been tidied again, but it definitely is a bit of a storage area. So it's never going to be completely tidy, I don't think. It's a bit of a dumping ground. Here's the remnants of the old kitchen. Well, no, this is actually the surplus of the new kitchen. So these are various bits, plenty of worktops kicking about, left over, some shelves, some plinths, all sorts of bits and pieces, so that's left over. Garden's still looking alright, the grass is growing pretty well actually, pretty happy with that, so hopefully it should be okay through the winter. And that's it for about now. So I'm just going to do a bit of finishing here. This was never done by the floor fitters, so I'm just going to put, as you can see, some caulk around here, some mastic. This needs doing, so you can see this is all pretty exposed. It's just like an end, so we'll do that. And of course here you can see the gaps, so we'll seal all that in. And there's also another piece, yeah, so quite a big gap here, so that'll need quite a bit of filling. So we'll get all that sealed up, which will be quite nice to finish that. There's a few other bits and pieces, but that'll keep me going.
My bolognese.
It's 2017, Feb, doing a small shed update. And this is mainly around the wiring, so I've got rid of that ridiculous emergency light that was there. In fact, there they are, there's the two emergency lights. So, I mean, there's all the batteries, they were long gone. You know, they were no longer charging, etc. So they were just like dead circuits, really, these things. So, remove one from the top here. And also tidied the wiring up here, because this was a bit of a mess up here. I mean, this is a lot tidier, believe it or not, than it was. We had a spur coming off here, really, which fed another two emergency lights still to come out, which are over there, at the back of the shed or in the main officey shed bit. And then there was another light here, and of course the one above here, just above the door. None of them worked, so they all had to come out, and tidied up a bit of the wiring. So just got these loose ends now, which was just kind of like a loop in the circuit, which I presume if it noticed the mains drop from here, because there's the other one you can just see there, if it noticed the mains drop there, I presume it would put the lights on, the emergency lights, but they didn't work, so They're to come out. You know, to do it properly, this all really needs to be put into proper boxes and secured, etc. So that's for a future project, but for now I just wanted to tidy this a little bit and find out what the wiring was doing, and you know, replace things like this, because this is a new one, but this was a really old lash up. The previous one, it was just, you know, none of the terminals were tight, they couldn't tighten up, so kind of got to grips with what's going on. And thankfully I've managed to reinstate this light here as well now, because this was actually, every time I wired this into the switch, it was blowing. And I think these were something to do with it, the emergency lights, because every time I reinstated the switch there and plugged this back into the rows, it would just blow the electrics and the breaker would trip. So that's no longer happening now, so something about those emergency lights was causing a bit of a weird dip in the circuit. So, kind of just salvaging for parts, a few bits and pieces, and I ended up with, as you can see, quite a lot of wiring. This has all come out from the top of the ceiling there. There's still a couple more bits to do. This up here needs to be tidied as well, because you know, that's just it's live, but it's not going anywhere. It feeds the outside light and then it continues on for the circuit, so that needs to come out as well. So that's another bit to do, unless I decide to put another light up here. But as you can see, I've got plenty of lights now, and all these are working. It's good to have one on that end. I might put a strip light up there, but I think that's a 20 watt energy saving bulb, and that's plenty. So that's fine. Like I say, I've got two switches at work here now. This one was disconnected from the back, and I guess they'd done that because every time they switched it on, every time they switched that light on, it blew something up here, and that was why. It must be something in the emergency lights. This is the officey bit, as you know, and these are the other emergency lights, which I might take down, or I might leave just purely because of it's neater to have them in there than dirty grey holes. But they're disconnected now, which is great. None of them work, so they're all out of the circuit, which is where all that wiring has come from. None of these work, so at least it's all safe. There's no wiring here, so I'm just going to remove them potentially and put covers on them. And so now it's just kind of tidying up. But yeah, that was good work to do, because it was annoying me not having a light there, and it was annoying me not finding out why it was tripping the whole circuit. So good job done. There we go, a bit more work to do. So this was just bare wood, or it seemed like bare wood, so I've just given it a bit of a protection, wood varnish, good old Ron Seal. That's exactly what it should on the tin. So you can see it needs a bit of sealing really. I think there's felt missing from there, and it's probably, I don't know, not very well designed. But I'll seal this, I think, tomorrow or next time I come over. Just seal a few gaps, just make it a bit more watertight. It's done pretty well though, it's not fallen to bits just yet, but yeah, I needed that wood protecting. So that's the side. The other side has still got the felt on it, so I've kind of left, as they say, let sleeping dogs lie. And I've got some weeds to get rid of here, so these are growing out again, bastards. So I'm going to spray them with good old Roundup. Can't beat it. So yeah, there we go. Small update. Kind of had to put in a couple of extra floorboards, as you can see there. Made a better job, I think, because I've had longer ones rather than these short ones. So yeah, had to remove all those, and unfortunately I've still got this bit here, which is kind of, well, I've left it for the minute because that's as long as I could find to fit in my car realistically without having to go for like a transit van. But it's nice and solid now. It's a lot more easier to walk on. I actually fell through the floor just kind of down here somewhere. Not fell through the floor, but it cracked, so I thought time to get rid of some of these. So I've shifted them up and tried to make it a bit neater where the join is. I'm no carpenter, as you can see, but at least it's down there. Real quick one just to show I've been concreting the drain. This was all actually coming apart. I'll show you a before picture. But as you can see, at least now it's all been coated in concrete, like a mortar, to plug up all the holes. Because I think water was seeping down between the drain and the brick. So it's good just to make all that fairly watertight now, so all water has to go down the drain and not into the brickwork. And yeah, you can just see this is just rain runoff from a bit of a storm, so quite a bit coming in here. So you can see that all travelling in.